All right, let's dive right in. If you're gearing up for the California real estate broker exam, you know how much material there is to cover. So today, we're going to zero in on one of the biggest, most tested areas, property ownership and investing. Let's get to it.
So why are we starting here? Well, look at this number, 23%. According to the DRE's own breakdown, questions about property ownership and transfer make up a massive 23% of your final score. That is a huge chunk of the test. So nailing this section isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely crucial.
Just think about that for a second. Getting a handle on these concepts could literally be the difference between passing and failing. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Build that solid foundation you need to crush this part of the exam. Okay, let's start with a question the exam asks in a dozen different ways. When you own property, what is it that you actually own? I mean, it's more than just the dirt and the house, right? The core legal idea you have to get your head around is something called the bundle of rights.
You know, the best way to think about this is with a simple analogy. Picture your ownership as a bundle of sticks. Now, each one of those sticks is a specific individual right you have over that property. You can hold all the sticks yourself, or you can give some away, like when you run out of room or grant an easement. It's a simple idea, but it's the foundation for everything. So what are these sticks exactly? Well, there are 5 main ones you gotta know. Possession, pretty simple, right? It's the right to be there. Control, the right to use the property however you want, as long as it's legal. Enjoyment, the right to use it in peace without people bugging you. Exclusion, the right to tell others to get off your lawn. And disposition, the big one, the right to sell it, give it away, or leave it in your will. You've got to know all 5 for the exam, no question.
Okay, so if the bundle of rights is what you own, the next big question is, how do you own it? And this leads us right into the different types of property ownership, another area the exam loves to test.
Now, the very first distinction the exam will try to trip you up on is this fundamental split. Are you owning the property all by yourself, or are you sharing it with other people? The rules for each are completely different, and understanding that difference is critical.
This really lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got sole ownership. The fancy exam term for this is ownership in severalty. Just think of the word severed. It's been severed from any other owners. Simple enough. One person, one entity, they hold the whole bundle. But on the other side, you've got co-ownership, and this is where the details really start to matter.
All right, you might want to screenshot this one because this is your exam cheat sheet. Let's hit the high points. For tenancy in common, remember 2 things. You can have unequal shares, and you can will your share to whoever you want. For joint tenancy, the magic phrase is right of survivorship. This is huge. If one owner dies, their share automatically goes to the other owners. It completely bypasses the will. And community property, that's the default for married couples here in California. Expect scenario questions that force you to pick the right one.
So we've covered the what and the how of ownership. Now let's talk about making it all official. This part is all about how your ownership is legally recorded and proven, which brings us to the ideas of title and vesting.
Vesting. It sounds like a super technical legal word, doesn't it? But really, the concept is simple. It's just the exact language on the deed that spells out who owns the property and how they own it. You know, like John Doe and Jane Smith as joint tenants. It's the official record of the ownership structures we were just talking about.
And the process itself is just common sense. Step 1, the buyers choose how they want to hold title, as joint tenants, community property, whatever. Step 2, that exact choice gets written right onto the deed. Step 3, the deed gets recorded down at the county. That makes it a public record, and boom, the ownership is official. It really is that straightforward.
So why does the exam hammer you on this stuff? Because this choice of vesting, man, it changes everything. It dictates how you can sell the property, how it gets split up in a divorce, and most importantly, what happens when an owner dies. We're talking major legal and tax consequences, and you can bet you're going to see questions about it.
Okay, so let's put all the pieces of this puzzle together. Because the broker exam isn't just going to ask you for a simple definition. It's going to throw scenarios at you to see if you can connect all these concepts.
Here is a perfect example of a more advanced topic, fee simple defeasible. Now, this ties right back to our bundle of sticks. It basically means you own the property. You've got all the sticks, but there's a catch. There's a condition. For instance, the deed might say the property can only ever be used as a park. If you try to build a condo on it, you could lose ownership entirely. It's a great reminder that those rights aren't always set in stone.
And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. You have to see how it all connects. The bundle of rights tells you what ownership is.
The types of ownership tells you how you can share that bundle, and vesting is how you record that specific choice on the deed. The exam will test your ability to follow a problem through that entire chain.
And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? You now have the framework for a huge, huge part of your broker exam. You've got the core ideas of rights, ownership, and vesting down. Your job now is to practice. Run through those sample questions, apply these concepts so that when that clock is ticking on exam day, you'll be more than ready. You've got this. Good luck.